Carolina Hurricanes just getting one. We need just one. Just one win.
Dennis Cox, you're setting the bar
just one
very
win.
high with just one win.
I understand that, but can we just get one at least? I want one more game at PNC Arena. I want one more day of tailgating on a Friday night with great weather. See this team back in action in person one more time at home.
I mean,
at least can we I just want one.
Not getting swept, I think, is the goal.
Yeah, I think that's this ties into the fact, I'm sure Rob Brind'Amour is obviously telling his team this too. I go back to myself as a coach when I think about this, is that you can't make up your 3 losses tonight.
Yeah.
You're not going to win 4 games tonight. Just go get one. And one thing as well, to get there, you're doing everything right. Rod said it. Players are saying it. Even the TNT broadcast, Wayne Gretzky saying they're playing everything. They're doing everything the right way, Carolina Hurricanes. Obviously, the finishing just hasn't been there. We'll get into a multitude of reasons for that next. But if you start to try and cheat, to try and create offense, I guarantee you Florida's going to burn you. Before you know it, if you find yourself down 2-0 in this game, then you are getting swept. You can't drastically change what you've been doing, in my opinion, because I think that's where Carolina starts getting burned if they do that.
Well, and that's what's so tough about the situation is you have been doing everything right. Mm-hmm. Just look at Game 3, for example. I mean, the Canes, if you look just at the box score, you'd think, oh yeah, Carolina did great in this one. They had 32 shots on goal, 66 total shots. They won 58.1% of the faceoffs. Like they absolutely crushed Florida in terms of all of those different categories that you view as a measurement of success.
Yeah.
But the difference is the Panthers are taking advantage of the little opportunities they get, and then they've got Bobrovsky just hanging out in net as an absolute wall.
We'll get into Bobrovsky here in a moment. Rob Brind'Amour, we all talk about Carolina Hurricanes just need a goal, right?
Just get one.
It's been 120-plus minutes since they last scored a goal. Rob Brind'Amour talked about earlier today. Hey, let's just get a goal, please.
We got to score some goals, or you're not going to win a game. We're doing all we can on the other side of things. It's just we got to find a way to break through, and then maybe get a little confidence going that way, and who knows what can happen. But that's obviously the game plan.
All right, that gets us into our second thing here of our top 3 things here of Canes game number 4 tonight. Sergei Bobrovsky. That dude is playing on a whole other level right now. Now, this level of play is not foreign to Sergei Bobrovsky. He did win the Vezina Trophy in 2013 and 2017. Now, I understand that was fully earlier in his career, but that level of play obviously still exists because what he is doing right now.
Well, and I think that's really what has been so amazing to see is just the way he has turned things around. He was struggling. It was one of these guys where you're looking at Florida and you're like, man, they probably overpaid for him. But he has been the reason they have been in this position. I don't want to incite any bad memories or anything like that. But so he shut out the Canes in Game 3.
Yeah.
He is the oldest goaltender to earn his first career postseason shutout at 34 years old since Boston's Tim Thomas.
Oh, that guy.
Who did it in 2009 at the age of 35 against the Hurricanes.
Okay. So history is repeating itself.
Sometimes
to an extent.
Sometimes these things, time is a flat circle, pain, sports are nothing but pain and misery. That's kind of the vibe. But sometimes sports are not just about pain and misery. Sometimes the impossible happens and these comebacks come around.
Well, it has happened 4 times in NHL history out of 204 opportunities.
Yeah, great percentage.
Exactly, great. Hey, but you're telling me there's a chance.
Well, listen,
right?
Yeah, of those 4 times, 2 of them have come since 2010. So I'm just saying.
All right, so let's go into the numbers of those 3-0 comebacks. The most recent one was 2014 by the LA Kings.
Yes.
They were down 3-0 in their series against the San Jose Sharks, I think in the first round of the playoffs.
It was.
And they actually went on to win a Stanley Cup that year in 2014. Justin Williams part of that team.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, you pulled up the numbers.
I did.
The goal scoring, which we talked about for Carolina, has been non-existent in this series. Where in the double series, they scored 24 goals in 5 games.
Yep.
Which was just insane, the offensive explosion. But these comebacks haven't been off of like 1-0 wins or 2-1 wins.
No,
it's been different.
Well, so when you look at the comebacks, like the two trends are right around that game 4, there's a huge momentum shift.
Of
right?
course.
Two of the comebacks, 2010 Flyers, there was a 5-4 overtime win in game 4 for the Flyers.
Yeah.
The 1942 Toronto Maple Leafs had a 4-3 win in overtime in game 4. 2014, the Kings lost in game 3 in overtime, but they had been getting crushed in the 2 games beforehand, so it was a big momentum swing. But yeah, a lot of times what happens with these comebacks is you have few goals being scored in those first 3 games that you lose, and then there's a huge jump in goals scored after that. I'll use the Kings as the most recent example here. In the losses, they were averaging about 2.6 goals per game.
Okay.
And in the wins, they were averaging about 4.5 goals per game.
It's a pretty big jump.
It's a huge jump, and I think that would be the key to me if the Canes are going to do this thing. If they are going to join history here, which is that's the option right now, right? Is either you make history or you lose. Those are the only options for the Canes, for better or worse. So if they're going to do that, they're going to need some goals to come, and a lot of them too.
And that now or never mindset, Rob Brindamore talked about that earlier.
We have to prepare to play a game. Whether we were up 3-0 or down there, it'd be the same preparation. It'd be the same. You're not going to try to change things, or you're making tweaks. Yes, those are little adjustments, but you're making those all along. It's it's never looking at the big picture, and sometimes it's easier to be honest, when you're at the end. You got one way to do it, and if it doesn't work, it's there's no, we don't have it tomorrow, but there's no real pressure on it because we know it's now or never, and let's throw it out there and see what happens. And so we've pretty much done that every game anyway. Like I'd like to say now we're going to try something. No, we got to try to do the same things, give ourselves a chance to win. That's what we're going to do.
All right, so that leads into our third thing. Yeah, it's now or never. This team has seen it recently. A lot of guys on this team, including head coach Rob Brindamore, were part of the 2019 team that faced Boston Bruins in the Eastern Conference Finals and got swept. Now, those games relatively overall weren't very close, which is the opposite of these 3 games. We'll get into how narrow the margins have been for this series, but this team has faced it before. And Jacob Slavin, defenseman, talked about, hey, what's different this year being down 3-0 versus the Eastern Conference Finals back in 2019?
Yeah, I think it's a different feeling, right? And back in 2019, I think they were probably the better team, and they were beating us, and because they were the better team. But right now, I mean, it's been 3 super tight games, 2 overtime games, another 1-goal game last night, and so we're playing good hockey. And it's just been unfortunate so far, but so I think the feeling of it's different. We're not out of it. We just got to continue to battle and take it one game at a time.
One game at a time. One game at a time, Louis Fernandez.
You get even more minuscule than that. I think you go one possession at a time, one shot at a time. That's where they're at.
Just go out there and win a play. You can't win the game on one play either. Much like you can't win the series tonight, and by the result of this game, obviously you can lose the series, but you're not going to get 4 wins in one night. You're also not going to win the game on one single play, but you can go win that particular play, if that makes sense.
It does.
I'm going back into my old coaching mentality.